You're either going to love this or you're going to hate this because that's how this team works. It was immediately evident why Duke is getting so much hype this year. They are talented. Cooper Flagg, talented. But it's not just Cooper Flagg. The hype is getting aggressive for Duke, and you know there's going to be those of you that hate that. There's going to be those of you that love that. That's just how that team operates. But against Maine, they showed why. It's just a talent thing. It's just a talent thing. Let's start with the freshman, Cooper Flagg, who everybody's going to start with when you talk ACC basketball, Duke basketball, next year's NBA draft. He had 18.7 rebounds, 5 assists with 3 steals and a poster dunk to let everybody know, hey, I can do this too. A 2-foot jump from well outside the restricted area, just a little yammer jammer straight down the lane. Here's Cooper Flagg on his feelings of playing in his very first college basketball game.
I think even for me, it was a little more emotional. Walking out, seeing the Maine across their chest. Obviously, that's a team that I grew up watching when I was young. So, you know, seeing them gave me a lot more emotions, and knowing that it was the first real game. It was definitely a high-emotion game for me, but they would have just taken a shot and handled business.
Ironically, I actually think playing Maine probably gave him a little bit extra confidence. If you believe some of the NBA players that have worked with him from a young age, former NBA players that now run camps and everything, Cooper Flagg's been giving the University of Maine and the players and pickup the business since he was about 14 years old. So going out there now as a 17-year-old and saying, all right, I get to play Maine, a little familiarity there. Maybe it's not exactly rolling out there like he will in a couple of days against Kansas or Kentucky or Arizona. But it wasn't just Cooper Flagg. Con Knipple, 22 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists on a wildly efficient 8 of 14 shooting. Just 3 of 8 from 3, but the confidence with which he stepped into three-point balls, he's going to score a lot. He is going to benefit from the gravitational force that is Cooper Flagg. And Kamen Malawash, the other freshman that played big minutes, 6.6 rebounds, 1 assist, and 3 blocks, and he played just 18 minutes. And if you watched the game, he affected more than the 3 shots that he blocked. He's a legit 7+, like 7'1", 7'2". Springy athlete, which isn't often said about guys that tall, although I don't know, the basketball players are evolving. It's been said about more guys going into the NBA draft in the last few years. The vets did what we expect. Do you know what I liked about Tyrese Proctor? Right, I talk about all this talent, right? And the young guys showed the talent. Tyrese Proctor seemed mad the whole game, and I kind of love that. Going into timeouts, the high fives were like he was rushing through the high fives to get to the like it just was. There's a clip going around of Joe Burrow after he threw his 5th touchdown pass this past weekend, and like no smile, walking to the bench, trying to figure out what happened on that drive. And then there's the clip going around of Joe Burrow in the post-game locker room where Coach rah, 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 he then gives the speech, which was, guys, we play on Thursday. There is no celebrating this one. That's the Tyrese Proctor vibe I got. Like, big dunk, cool. Here's what we need to do on defense. I loved that from the vet. Caleb Foster, I don't think he was quite as stern. He was loving being healthy. Didn't finish last year due to an ankle injury. He was, a couple circus layup attempts and things. He was just, hey, look what I can do. I think that's fine as well. Here's what it is for Duke. And actually, I'm going to use a metaphor from their game last night against Maine, which they won by a bunch. Cooper Flagg cramping, I think, is an excellent metaphor for what Duke's challenge is this year. If you didn't watch Cooper Flagg, oh no, he's hurt. Then he was laughing, and right, he's dealing with cramps, right? We've all been there.
Yeah, first game of the year.
Stretch it out. Give me some pickle juice. There's nothing you can do in that situation other than hydrate and kind of go a whole bunch of times. But the metaphor is Duke, especially as Cooper continues to benefit and continues to expand his game to where it's not just the dunks. It's a little bit of everything. He went 0 for 4 from 3. I don't expect that to happen very often as he expands his game away from the bucket. The electricity, the buzz, the hype, the pomp and circumstance is only going to grow. You have to be able to withstand, survive, pace yourself through a fully energized, 5-6 months of attention and basketball. Right? It doesn't matter how great you are if you burn out 3 months from now. If that game were closer and Cooper Flagg couldn't be on the floor for the crucial moments because he's cramping, that would have been an issue. They have to put everything together and then have the stamina to make it to the end of the run, because I believe it's everyone always makes the joke that, we were like the Beatles. I don't think it'll get that crazy. I don't think it'll be Zion levels, but remember that Zion season. Remember they had the Zion cam? He was hurt and on the bench, and they just had a camera pointed at him at all points in time on the bench. That takes stamina to keep up. And by the way, a few times it looked like he may have yawned or nodded off on the bench, and he wasn't playing. I don't know what you want to expect from him. Cooper Flagg talked about trying to impact the game beyond his scoring, which is something he did last night.
It's kind of just something that's always been a part of my game, is just trying to impact it in a lot of different ways, where it's just making the right play, finding an open teammate, rebounding, whatever it is. It's something that our team in general has kind of been priding ourselves on, is kind of outside of the shots, 94% of the game, or only about 6% of the game is really shots, making or missing shots. So just priding ourselves on the 94% of the game that doesn't revolve around shots. So rebounding, playing good defense, playing with energy, that type of thing that we can control.
Do you think that's a real stat, or did Jon Scheyer throw that at them as a made-up number? And,
probably.
And Cooper Flagg took it as truth. 6% of the game is taking shots? How would you even measure that? But I get what he's trying to say, right? Mm-hmm. Scoring isn't everything. You need to impact the game in a bunch of different ways. I went back and looked at last year's opener for Duke because I thought it would be interesting to see what was different. Remember Jared McCain? He's now on the Sixers, first-round pick, lights-out shooter. Last year in their opener, they played Dartmouth, so Dartmouth was their main. He fouled out and played 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. The rest of the year, he did not foul out ever again, and he never played as few as 15 minutes again. So there are things that will change. That was not the final version of Duke, but what they flashed was enough. And Zion James off the bench, bully ball. That's his role. They what I like about their team is they're all, not all, but some of them are wildly extremely talented. And they're not wildly extremely talented in the same way. There's very little duplication on their roster. If you need a rim protector, obviously you can have Cooper Flagg or Common Malawash, but they're very different in how they do it. If you want shooting from the perimeter, there's Caleb Foster or Con Knipple or a few others, but the way they go about it is very different. And then Cooper Flagg is kind of in the middle trying to make it all work, and if the legends are true, he'll be able to make it work in a big way. I've yet to find someone whose opinion I trust on basketball who doesn't think this guy's the real deal. Not even maybe he's a little overhyped. It's all, I'll read a text from last night from one of those people I trust in basketball. Because it's actually funny. It's funny because I said, they might start slow. I said non-conference schedule is bananas, but if they pull it together, they have a good chance. The response was, as long as Cooper is out there, they have a chance.
Pretty much.
And it looked it. And they looked like they had the other guys to pick up the slack.